The soul trap. Are we living in a spiritual matrix? What if everything you believed about death, reincarnation, and the afterlife was a lie? What if the light at the end of the tunnel isn't salvation, but the ultimate deception? Part 1. The Red Pill Moment. Picture this. You're lying on your deathbed, taking your final breath. Suddenly, you find yourself floating above your body, moving through a tunnel toward a brilliant white light. Beings of pure light welcome you with open arms, showing you a review of your life. They tell you about the lessons you still need to learn, the karma you must repay, the unfinished business that requires you to return to Earth. You feel guilty. You feel incomplete. You agree to go back. But what if this entire experience is the greatest con job in the universe? Welcome to the soul trap theory, a concept that turns everything we think we know about death and rebirth on its head. It's the Matrix, but for your soul. Part 2. The Architects of Deception. In the 1999 film The Matrix, humanity unknowingly lives in a simulated reality while machines harvest their energy. The soul trap theory suggests something eerily similar, that we exist in a spiritual prison where higher dimensional beings, called Archons in ancient Gnostic texts, harvest our emotional energy through an endless cycle of reincarnation. But this isn't science fiction. This is a belief system that dates back over 2,000 years. The ancient Gnostics believed our physical reality was created by a false god, the demiurge, who trapped divine sparks, our souls, in matter. They called the rulers of this prison the Archons, entities that feed off human suffering and keep us ignorant of our true divine nature. Sound familiar? It should. The Wachowski sisters admitted the Matrix was heavily influenced by Gnostic philosophy. Part 3. The Trap Mechanism, how it works. Phase 1. The Tunnel of Light Deception. When you die, you're drawn to a bright light. This isn't God or Source, it's a sophisticated trap. The beings you encounter aren't angels or spirit guides, they're Archons in disguise, appearing as whatever you expect to see based on your religious or spiritual beliefs. Christian? You might see Jesus or angels. Buddhist? You might encounter bodhisattvas. New Age? You'll see beings of light and love. Phase 2. The Guilt Trip. These entities show you a life review, but it's not objective. They emphasize your failures, your sins, your unfinished business. They make you feel guilty about the pain you caused others, the lessons you didn't learn, the spiritual progress you didn't make. You can't ascend yet. You need to go back and fix things. Phase 3. The Forced Contract. In your vulnerable state, filled with guilt and the desire to make things right, you agree to another incarnation. You sign a soul contract, choosing your next life's challenges, your family, your struggles. But here's the kicker, you're not making a free choice. You're being manipulated through emotional blackmail and spiritual gaslighting. Phase 4. The Memory Wipe. Before you reincarnate, your memories are wiped clean. You forget who you really are, where you came from, and the fact that you're trapped in a system designed to keep you imprisoned. You're born again, and the cycle continues. Part 4. The Evidence, Cracks in the Matrix. 1. Near-death experience testimonies. Not everyone who has a near-death experience comes back with stories of love and light. Some report feeling pressured to return, encountering beings who seemed manipulative, or sensing that something was off about the entire experience. Dr. Kenneth Ring, a leading NDE researcher, noted that some experiencers report feeling forced back into their bodies or given ultimatums about returning to complete their mission. 2. Past life regression revelations. Hypnotherapists like Michael Newton documented thousands of life between live sessions where clients described meeting councils of elders who assigned them difficult lives, feeling they had no real choice in their reincarnation, experiencing the between-live state as a kind of holding area, encountering beings who seemed more like administrators than loving guides. 3. The déjà vu phenomenon. That eerie feeling of I've been here before might be more than just a brain glitch. Soul trap theorists suggest it's leaked memory from previous incarnations, evidence that the memory wipe isn't perfect. 4. The Loosh connection. This theory gets darker. Some researchers claim that human emotional energy, particularly suffering, fear, and trauma, is harvested by these higher dimensional beings. They call this energy loosh, and Earth is essentially a farm for producing it. Think about it: war, poverty, disease, natural disasters. From this perspective, human suffering isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature. Part 5, The Matrix Parallels, Fiction Meets Ancient Wisdom. The similarities between the Matrix and soul trap theory are striking. Machines harvest human energy. Archons harvest emotional energy. Humans live in simulated reality. Souls trapped in physical incarnation. Most humans are unaware. Most souls are unaware of the trap. The real world is hidden. The spiritual realm is hidden. Agents enforce the system. Archons maintain the system. Neo must choose red or blue pill. Souls must choose awareness or ignorance. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Matrix was intended as a metaphor for transgender experience by its creators. Could the soul trap theory be a metaphor for something else entirely? Part 6, The Skeptic's Corner, Holes in the Theory. Before we go down this rabbit hole completely, let's address the elephant in the room. Where's the proof? 1. The unfalsifiable problem. Soul trap theory suffers from the same issue as many conspiracy theories: it's unfalsifiable. Any evidence against it can be explained as part of the deception. It's designed to be impossible to disprove. 2. The confirmation bias trap. When you're looking for evidence of a cosmic conspiracy, you'll find it everywhere. Every injustice, every tragedy, every moment of suffering becomes proof of the system's malevolence. 3. The psychological comfort. Paradoxically, believing in the soul trap can be comforting. It provides an explanation for suffering. It's not random, it's designed. A sense of special knowledge: you're awake while others sleep. A victim narrative: your problems aren't your fault, you're trapped. 4. The ancient wisdom misinterpretation. Many spiritual traditions that speak of liberation or escape from reincarnation aren't necessarily describing a prison break. They might be describing transcendence, moving beyond the need for physical incarnation through spiritual evolution, not escape from a cosmic conspiracy. Part 7, The Quantum Twist, Simulation Theory Meets Spirituality. Recent developments in quantum physics and computer science have given soul trap theory a technological upgrade. What if reality is indeed a simulation, as suggested by philosopher Nick Bostrom? Consciousness is information processing, as theorized by integrated information theory. We're living in a virtual reality indistinguishable from base reality. This would make the soul trap more like a software bug than a spiritual prison. Elon Musk famously claimed the odds we're living in base reality are billions to 1. If he's right, then the soul trap might be less about archons and more about the limitations of our simulated environment. Part 8, The Escape Routes, How to Dodge the Trap. If the soul trap is real, how do you escape? The theory offers several possibilities. Option 1, the Gnostic path. Gain gnosis, direct spiritual knowledge. Recognize the archons for what they are. Refuse to go into the light. Demand to return to source/prime creator. Option 2, the Buddhist approach. Achieve enlightenment. Transcend the cycle through non-attachment. Realize the illusory nature of separate self. Merge with universal consciousness. Option 3, the modern escape plan. During your death experience, avoid the tunnel of light. Don't engage with any beings you encounter. Demand to see the real Prime Creator. Refuse any life review or guilt trips. Insist on returning to Source. Option 4, the Neo Solution. Question everything while alive. Develop psychic abilities to see through the illusion. Help others wake up from the matrix. Prepare for the death experience while conscious. Part 9, the dark side of awakening. But here's the disturbing part. What if knowing about the soul trap makes you a target? Some theorists suggest that once you become aware of the system, the Archons work harder to keep you trapped. They might increase life challenges to create more suffering. Send false light beings to mislead you. Create spiritual experiences that feel real but are actually more deception. Use your loved ones as emotional anchors to ensure you reincarnate. It's like being awake in the matrix but still plugged in. You can see the code, but you're still trapped in the system. Part 10, the counter-narrative. What if love is real? Not everyone buys into the soul trap theory. Critics argue. 1. The love paradox. If everything is a trap, what about love? What about the genuine moments of connection, beauty, and transcendence that humans experience? Are these also illusions? 2. The growth argument. Maybe reincarnation isn't a trap but a school. Maybe we choose difficult lives not because we're manipulated, but because we're brave souls seeking growth and evolution. 3. The free will defense. What if the system isn't rigged? What if we actually do have free will, and the appearance of being trapped is just the result of our own choices and karma? 4. The projection theory. Perhaps the soul trap theory is a projection of our own fears about death, meaninglessness, and lack of control. Maybe it says more about our psychology than our spiritual reality. Part 11, the modern mystic's dilemma. Today's spiritual seekers face an unprecedented challenge. We have access to more information than ever before: ancient wisdom, modern research, personal testimonies, and cutting-edge theories. But with all this information comes confusion. How do you know what's true? The soul trap theory forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. Can we trust our spiritual experiences? Are our beliefs our own, or have they been programmed into us? Is seeking enlightenment actually a trap? What if the very desire to escape is part of the system? Part 12, the practical implications, living in uncertainty. Whether the soul trap is real or not, it raises important questions about how we live. 1. If it's real, how do we find meaning in a rigged system? Should we focus on escape or acceptance? Can we trust any spiritual practice or teacher? What's the point of moral behavior if it's all a game? 2. If it's not real, why are we so attracted to victim narratives? What does our fascination with this theory say about us? How do we distinguish between healthy skepticism and paranoia? What's the difference between spiritual awakening and spiritual psychosis? 3. The third option, transcending the binary. Maybe the real trap isn't the soul trap. Maybe it's the need to know for certain whether it's real or not. What if the answer is both and neither? Consider this. The Matrix films themselves suggest that the real world outside the simulation might be just another layer of control. Maybe the soul trap theory is true, but escaping it just leads to another trap. Maybe reality is traps all the way down. Or maybe that's the point. Perhaps consciousness itself is the explorer, and every reality, whether base reality or simulation, spiritual prison or cosmic school, is just another experience to be had, another story to be told. Part 13, the integration, living the questions. The soul trap theory doesn't have to paralyze us with fear or fill us with rage at cosmic injustice. It can be a tool for 1. Developing discernment. Questioning our assumptions about spirituality and death. Becoming more aware of manipulation in all its forms. Strengthening our ability to think critically about extraordinary claims. 2. Cultivating presence. If this life might be our only real chance at consciousness, shouldn't we be fully present for it? Whether we're trapped or free, this moment is still this moment. The quality of our experience matters regardless of its ultimate nature. 3. Embracing mystery. Maybe not knowing is okay. Maybe the search for absolute truth is itself a trap. Maybe wisdom lies in holding multiple possibilities simultaneously. The final question, as we reach the end of this exploration, you might be wondering, so what's the truth? The honest answer is, nobody knows. The soul trap theory is unprovable and unfalsifiable. It could be absolute truth revealed by brave truth seekers. Elaborate delusion born from fear and paranoia. Partial truth mixed with misinterpretation. A useful metaphor for the human condition. A psychological projection of our own limitations. But maybe that's the most liberating realization of all. You don't need to know the ultimate nature of reality to live a meaningful life. You don't need to solve the mystery of death to be fully alive. You don't need to escape the matrix to find freedom within it. The real choice isn't between the red pill and the blue pill. The real choice is between fear and love, between paranoia and trust, between seeing life as a prison and seeing it as an adventure. Choose wisely. Epilogue, the paradox of awakening. If you've made it this far, you're probably wondering what to do with all this information. Here's the paradox: the more you know about potential traps, the more trapped you might become, by your own knowledge. The ultimate soul trap might be the theory itself. But then again, maybe that's just what they want you to think. Welcome to the rabbit hole. What will you choose to believe?